I'm with Vahirda here at the TR Léger Immigrant Services, where you guys celebrated the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day with Councillor Elaine McDonald here. Mm-hmm. What are some of the issues facing your clients and women of color and immigrant women here in Cornwall, Ontario?
I think, immigrant women, when they come here, they have their own, not just women's, but just immigrant themselves and minorities, they have their own barriers to face. And on top of that, they have barriers, women have barriers amongst their own people, cultural barriers that they come here. In that way, they have double the amount of barriers that women in Cornwall would have. So the cultural ones, some women were talking today about how it's not general, like not every family has it, but some women we were talking about how kids, when they grow up, the boys are known to be rowdy and stuff, and the girls are told to be quiet. And then there was another family who said, well, someone forgot to tell me to be quiet, because it's all it differs by family. So
what are some of the services that you offer here for women and for immigrants in general?
At TR Léger Immigrant Services, we have mostly immigrant applications and stuff like that, citizenship applications, permanent resident applications, work permits. We also do job search help, and something that we started, a new initiative we started here, is the Multicultural Forum. We meet up, so far it's twice a month. We want to make it weekly. It's on Tuesdays from 3 to 4, and we try to get guest speakers. Like this week, our topic was International Women's Day, and we had Elaine McDonald come in, and last week we had international news. And what we do is we get people to come in and discuss, and we want newcomers, not just permanent residents, but citizens as well, people who've been here longer, and discuss some of the issues that they face and kind of learn from one another and discuss things from abroad as well. It's an opportunity to network and talk and share experiences.
Now, are there any particular challenges or hurdles that immigrants are facing here in Cornwall, Ontario?
One thing I guess a few people have complained about, because Cornwall is a smaller city, and diversity is not as it's more of a new thing, and people are still embracing it compared to Toronto and Montreal, bigger cities. Some people are faced with the fact that immediately, because they see a person of color or a person whose last name is very long or hard to pronounce, immediately the person who sees it, if they're someone who's Caucasian and been here forever and the first language is English, they'll see that and be like, oh, maybe this person doesn't know how to speak English. And I get that a lot myself, because as soon as they see my resume or something, they'll see that and they'll assume this idea that I don't speak English and things like that. And it's interesting, because I did a diversity training at the health clinic, and I went in there and I just pretended to have an accent just to start it off, and then I'm like, and then I just cut off, and I'm like, well, and this is one thing you can't, and I said I don't have an uncle that works in a Quickie Mart, and I don't drive a taxi, and I don't have an accent, and that's some things that people have to overcome, and it's not something that people are aware of. That's the thing, people don't mean to make these stereotypes, it's just so natural here, and I make these assumptions too, and it's just something that we have to overcome slowly, and I think that's a big barrier that we've heard about from people in the culture as well. And
have there been any comments about any special positives or some special attractions to being an immigrant here in Cornwall as well?
I'm not sure particularly, but the fact that like a place like this exists to get everyone together, and they have the ESL classes upstairs, it's all an opportunity to integrate, and at the same time, because we're in Canada and not the US, you can maintain your own cultural values and not come completely Canadian. You can be Indo-Canadian, Sri Lankan Canadian, Chinese Canadian, and that's something unique that Canadians have, unlike the melting pot of the US where you're just American.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.